The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Marketing Clinic with your host, Craig Proctor.
Well, happy Friday morning to everyone. My favorite day of the week because we get to look at your marketing. And we've got some great examples here, and then we've got some other examples that maybe aren't so great. But Andrea is going to lead us through this. She has selected a bunch of them here for us to look at today. As always, you can type in your questions or your comments in the chat, or even better, raise your hand and ask us any questions via your telephone or your computer mic. So Andrea, let's have a look at our first ad.
Okay, this first ad is for Marcus Hines. It is a postcard to recruit new agents.
All right, well, let's have a look at this. Who else would like to make a six-figure real estate income, join a successful team, get access to coaching and training with Craig Proctor? I suppose that's supposed to be coaching, not cashing. A little typo there. Clients and leads provided to you, as many as you can handle. Close 2 to 5 deals per month, like the current agents on the Hines Realty Group have. Get hands-on training and development to be able to work with any buyer or seller. Okay, so the call to action is call Marcus to have a private consultation about your career, okay? What I've done in the past is I've had them call my free recorded message line just so I could hear what they sound like. So that might be an idea, Marcus. You might want to say, you know, to receive more information about this career opportunity, call the free recorded message, you know, call 1-800 blah blah, enter the ID number. That way you could tell them a little bit more about the opportunity. I liked doing it that way because I could tell them a lot more about the opportunity, about the position on the hotline recording. And if it wasn't for them, well, then they hang up, and I'm okay with that. And the people that are interested are told at the end of the recorded message to leave me their contact information, and I have an opportunity to hear what they sound like as well. So that would be my advice here, Marcus, is before you agree just to meet with anybody, why not sift and sort the candidates by forcing them to listen to a 3 or 4 minute recorded message where you carefully, in that script, outline the opportunity, both what's in it for the candidate, but what's in it for you. And people that are not interested will hang up. The people that are will leave a message, and of course those are the only people that you care about. And then on the back side of this postcard, it appears to be testimonials, I believe, from some of Marcus's team members. Okay, this is for outside sales agents, I'm assuming. So I'm assuming it is a straight commission, that there's no salary plus commission. You see, when I was recruiting for inside sales agents, the headline that I would use was, you know, guaranteed salary plus, you know, be able to make a six-figure income in commissions. And the other solid point for inside sales agents was they had guaranteed work hours. So come and work with Craig Proctor. You get a guaranteed 40-hour work week, and you're going to make a guaranteed salary plus a generous commission, so you can make 6 figures or more. So you've got sort of the best of, you know, having a salaried position with the, you know, guaranteed salary part and the set 40-hour work week. You know when you're working, when you're not working, but you've also got the commission aspect where you can make as much as you want. Now that's for inside sales agents. It's unlikely that Marcus is paying his outside sales agents a salary. Okay, let's have a look at, first of all, are there any comments or questions about this one, Andrea?
No. Well, let's look. Ernest says, with a mail pitch such as Marcus's, I'm assuming you would have to label it addressed to the prospect.
Yes. Yes, I would think so, unless he's just, you know, if he's mailing this, I don't know, maybe he's delivering this to real estate companies, but they probably wouldn't let, obviously they wouldn't let him deliver this in the pigeonhole mailboxes at the real estate office, I wouldn't think. So yeah, he must have a list. Marcus must have a list of realtors that he wants to recruit, and I would think he's personally addressing those to those particular realtors. And by the way, I did this. Okay, what I would do is from Leon Dancona. Okay, he's the guy that owns the reality program. He's the founder of the reality program that most of you are using. I could get a list from Leon of all the agents that sold a certain amount of houses. So when I was recruiting agents, I knew I probably wasn't going to be successful recruiting the top agents, nor did I want the agents at the bottom that weren't selling any houses at all. So I tended to target real estate agents that were doing, you know, like 10 to 20 transactions. That was sort of the sweet spot for me. Okay, so they obviously knew what they were doing. They could write a contract. They could list a home. But, you know, they weren't hitting the ball out of the park. So you can get a list of agents by production, and you can mail something like this specifically to them.
The only other comment, James has said in the past, this kind of marketing will come with postage side up. And one thought I had was at quick glance, with such a big moving truck, this could be mistaken for a different type of company. So that's the only other comment about this. It just distracts from what the purpose is.
Yeah, it'd probably be better to have that offer on both sides, or a similar offer on both sides, because you're right. If you looked at just one side of this, you might see the moving truck and think, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe this is about moving trucks. Maybe this is about a moving company. So, yeah, you could repeat the offer on the flip side of this, or you could have a similar type offer. The testimonials I like, but I think we'd all agree with Andrew, if you only looked at the backside, if the backside actually became the front side because it was delivered in your mailbox that way, you wouldn't really, there's no offer here. You wouldn't know what this was about. And you could mistakenly check it out without flipping it over and reading it. Okay, let's go to our next marketing piece.
So our second is another direct mail piece from Marcus, and this one is for a farming area. So,
all right, the best time to sell a Walnut Creek condo and buy a detached home since 2005. I would probably have a headline above that. That would be the subhead, and the headline I would use would say Walnut Creek home sellers. And then below it, it's the best time to sell a Walnut Creek condo and buy a detached home since 2005. Learn what your Walnut Creek condo profit has jumped up to today at mycondoprofit.com. And then we've got some recent solds. And then we have his USP. There's a lot going on here. Then we've got the USP, your home sold. And if he's targeting condos, that you might want to say your condo sold, right? Because he's apparently talking to people that want to sell their Walnut Creek condo home. So if you're going to use that USP, why not use condo instead of home? Your condo sold. Or how about this, your Walnut Creek condo home sold for at least 100% of the asking price, or I'll pay you the difference. Here's how it works. I can't really read that, but I think that's right off of my marketing pieces. Okay, so the call to action is to call Marcus for a friendly conversation about the sale of your house, or visit. Okay, so yeah, the call to action for the guaranteed sale program should really look like what we have on the ad generator. it should say, you know, for more information on how you can benefit from this program, you can request a free report, and then give them a non-threatening way to do that. But there's a couple offers that Marcus is making on this piece. And we have to be careful because remember, the confused mind does nothing. So one offer that that Marcus is making is learn what your Walnut Creek condo, you know, is worth, how much profit you've made by going to mycondoprofit.com. And then another offer he's making is for his guaranteed sale program. So can we have two offers? Yeah, we can, as long as we're not, you know, confusing the prospect that's reading it. Now let's look at this backside again. Andrea, I think you would probably look at this and say, well, we've got the same thing going on here. If the backside of this this mailer actually becomes the front side, then there really is no offer here.
Agreed.
And this time we have testimonials from some of Marcus's clients, where on the prior postcard we had testimonials from his agents, his team members. Let's go to the next piece.
Okay.
While we're doing that, let's see if we have any questions. Okay, well, we've got one from Michelle London, but it looks like you've taken care of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Ernest says, good morning, Craig. With a mail piece such as Marcus's, I assume you would have to label, address it. Okay, so we've answered that one. Yes, that's true. If you want to specifically target one individual, it would have to be specifically addressed to that person. Okay, Rachel says she can't hear me. Can I speak louder? Is anyone else having problem hearing me? Because I could switch to my computer mic.
You're coming in loud and clear on my end, Craig.
Okay, well, let me just switch to that microphone and you guys can tell me what you like better, okay? So I'm on the telephone right now, and give me a minute. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, what sounds better to you folks? Do you like it better like this, or do you like it better on the telephone? Okay, some of you are saying a tad better. Okay, well, no problem. I will use my computer mic for today. What's strange is sometimes it sounds better on the telephone to you folks, and sometimes on the computer mic, and I have no idea, by the way, why that happens. Okay, so let's go back to our questions here, and we do encourage you to type in your questions and your comments. This is live. I'm here and available to you folks for the next hour and 15 minutes. We're going to go to about 12:30 Eastern Time. It's 9:30 on the West Coast. So let's have a good conversation today. Okay, here's one from Alexandra. Hi, Craig and Andrea. A question about a seller's net sheet before I met them. I'm mailing them a CMA, and they ask for the net sheet. Should I include commission or leave it out? Alexandra, I really don't like to do a net sheet unless I'm in front of them and we're in a position where they're ready to list their home. Because talking about all of the costs, including your commission, when you're not face-to-face with them, cannot work for you. It's only going to work against you. Roger's asking this. We're mailing this to new realtors. We get the list from DR, the Department of Real Estate. Okay, so Roger, what is this? Do you work with Marcus? I'm not really sure what you're referring to here. And did he respond to that, Andrea?
I haven't seen anything come through yet. I have, I'm ready with ad number 3 whenever you're ready.
Okay, ad number 3.
Yes, Roger works with Marcus.
Okay, good. All right, well, Roger, please pass on our comments to Marcus. Wish him the best. All right, what is ad number 3?
Okay, ad number 3 from one of our members is Google Pay-Per-Click. And in his email to me, he got very specific on the details of how much he's paying. Now, Craig, do you want to go into those details, or would you just kind of like to give him a critique on your thoughts? He's getting 0 leads, but some clicks. I do not have the landing pages.
Okay, well, look, if you're getting 0 leads, then I think we'd all agree that any investment is not a good idea. So it really doesn't matter what it's costing you if you're getting 0 leads. If you're generating a lot of leads and making a lot of money, we could also probably make the same argument. It really doesn't matter what it costs if you're making far more than whatever that number is in return investment. So I think the real thing we need to focus on is why is this not working? What did the ads say? Is it Google overall that's not working for you, or is it just these specific ads? Any response there, Andrea?
I'm waiting to see if we get any new chats, and I haven't seen any come through yet.
You see, we've got to be careful that we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? So, you know, the temptation is if you run a few ads on Google Pay-Per-Click or on Facebook and you don't get good results right off the bat, you may mistakenly believe, well, then Facebook's never going to work for me, or Google Pay-Per-Click may never work. Now, for some of you, you know, one will work far better than the other. Facebook might work better, Google Pay-Per-Click might work better, and I certainly don't want you folks spending money on things that aren't working for you. So you don't need to do something over and over and over again to determine whether it works or it doesn't work. You should know that right away. And Andrew, over the years, we've noticed that is a mistake that a lot of our members make, is they stick with things that aren't working for far too long. And there's no need to do that. If you're running these ads on Google Pay-Per-Click or on Facebook, I mean, the whole idea with direct response marketing is you're going to get an immediate direct response. You don't need to continue running the ads for weeks or months and months to determine whether it's going to work. So if it doesn't work, we want to do an autopsy. And what we want to discover is, well, is it the ad or is it the media? You know, is it the ad or is it Google Pay-Per-Click? Are you able to make these ads any better, bigger rather?
This is about as big as I could make it without losing the page. I can try to go one up higher to see if I lose it. Okay, and then, oh, there we go. So this, can you see it now? I can try one more.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I can read it now. Okay, East York home values. Find out what your home is worth online, free, with no obligation. Below it, East York home values. Get a free home evaluation by email. Compare sold homes in your area. And then the third and final ad at the bottom says, East York Homes, sell your home for top dollar, get up to 10% more. So all three of these ads are targeting sellers with a very similar offer. Now, we could argue, well, people that go to Google are buyers, right? They're looking for homes. So why don't we test some ads that target buyers? That's what I would recommend to our member here is, well, you've tested these 3 ads that work for that target sellers. That didn't work for you. So let's try some ads that target buyers. Keeping in mind that some of the buyers that respond are also going to have homes to sell. You know, one of the easiest ways to attract sellers is to attract the person that owns a home as a buyer, because logically, most people that own homes wouldn't consider selling their house before they find another house. That's sort of a logical process, right? Before I It's not, it'd be unusual for me to jump out of bed one day and think, okay, I'm going to sell my house without thinking about where I'm going to go to next. So that would be my recommendation here is, okay, you tested these ads, it didn't work, let's test some different ads. You've got to keep in mind that I failed my way to success. Okay, and that's really why all of you are members of the coaching program, is because you want to take a massive shortcut to success. Now, I wish it was as easy as me saying for each individual here, okay, for you, in your marketplace, this is exactly what ads you should run in and what medium. Now, I can save you a lot of time. I can give you the ads that I've spent decades perfecting, but there's still going to be some testing that you're going to do, and you're going to, run the different ads that we offer you in the different media, and pay careful attention to the results. And that's why we test in the first place, right? We test to see if something will work. Well, we found out these 3 ads didn't. So now we can move on and test something else. I don't see anything really wrong with these ads, but you can't argue with the results. It didn't work. Now, you could run this same ad somewhere completely different, exactly how it is, and get great results. Andrea, a good example of that is, I believe it's on coaching session 3. I show an example of my online home evaluation campaign, which is very much like our members' top ad here, right? It says home sellers, find out what your home is worth online. And on that coaching session, if you remember, I share the actual results that I got testing that ad in 3 local publications. In one publication, the Era Banner, I get hundreds of responses. In the other 2 publications, barely any responses at all. So it was the same ad, the same message, but it worked really well in one place, and it was a complete failure in the other 2. We may find that here. We may find that even though, well, this online home evaluation was a fail on Google pay-per-click, that exact same message could work very well in other media. Let's
That
go on now.
webinar is actually coming up for our newest members next week on the 21st. I'll make sure, it's always good to review and listen to Craig on Wednesdays, so I will make sure everyone on this webinar gets invited to that session 3.
Okay, so let's do a little commercial for that coaching session. On coaching session number 3, what I thought would be helpful is I'm sharing with you an entire year of what I did week by week, month by month. I'm showing you all the ads I ran. I'm showing you what each ad cost. I'm showing you exactly where I ran the ads, so you can see really good evidence of all the testing that I would do, and how, when I discovered what worked the best, how I automated my marketing. And all of you should be thinking about automating your marketing. What I did is I create a spreadsheet, really, of the results every week, okay, and then we learn from this information, we discover what works the best, and then we automate it by really, I'm creating this marketing rotation that I'm delegating. I'm either delegating it to my assistant rather, or I'm delegating it to the newspaper. But I want to basically put a fence around things. So, for example, the postcards, you've heard me talk about that. I tested gazillions of postcards to figure out what message worked the best. Then I had to figure out what streets were the best streets to send them to. Once I figured that out, and I knew that this was a jackpot, I wanted to make sure that those postcards went out every other week, and it had nothing to do with me. The ads that ran in the newspaper, I created a rotation, and then it had nothing to do with me. The newspaper knew every single week which ads I ran. I had that rotation figured out. You can do this with Facebook. You can do this with Google pay-per-click. You can do this with Craigslist. You can have somebody posting these for you. the key is you know it's going to work if it has nothing to do with you. That's the mindset here is, and you've heard me at the Super Conference talk about, coming up with an idea, innovating it, right, and perfecting the thing, and then delegating it or building a fence around it so it just happens without you. You know, the big idea here is how many homes could you sell? How many buyers could you work with? How many listings could you take on if eventually it had nothing to do with you? Well, you could do a lot of business, right, if it eventually had nothing to do with you. Let's look at ad number 4. We've got some more Google pay-per-click ads.
Okay, I have some information here. They've had 428 impressions on the Mar Vista and Marina Del Rey campaigns in 2 days. Got 4 clicks, but 0 leads. Let's see, I have the URLs if we'd like to go check them out. He believes there might be some kind of confusion.
Okay, before we leave this page, highlight for everybody the exact ads that we're referring to, because we got a bunch of them here. So are you able to highlight with your little marker there, Andrea, which ones we're looking at?
I think
Now, what this tells us, and Andrea knows the problem already. Andrea knows, because she's been with me for long enough, that the problem we have here is a landing page problem. Okay, we likely have a landing page problem. If we have like hundreds and hundreds of clicks, but 0 leads, that we can't say that the ad's not working because the ad's doing its job, right? We got hundreds, how many hundreds of clicks?
$428.
Okay, was that on for both of these?
It looks like he combined the number on both of them.
Okay.
So 428 impressions in 2 days. He actually got 4 clicks, but 0 leads. So what I'm going to do now is open up the landing pages.
All right. Well, hang on a second here. Do they both go? No, they go to different landing pages, so that's a problem right there. You see the problem, folks, is we have 400 clicks, but we don't know how many clicks came from one ad versus the other ad, and we're going to 2 different landing pages. So that's a bit of a problem. What we'd really like to know is how many clicks for each ad and how many leads on each landing page. But anyway, we don't have that. The information's combined. So let's look at these landing pages. You can choose whichever one you want to go to first, Andrea.
Okay, hold on just one moment. It's working on pulling up now. Okay, here is the first one.
Okay. So whose landing page is this?
It's not, is it Bold Leads?
Not a, I don't know. It's not a success website. It looks like a Bold Leads, but it doesn't say Bold Leads on there. So all I can say is it's not a success landing page. It's not the landing page I drive.
He says, he's saying it is Success website, but it definitely does not look like one of yours. He says, oh, here we go. It's the Success HDX landing pages.
Okay. So it's a landing page that Craig had nothing to do with. It is from Success, but it's not anything that I was involved in creating. So let the results speak for themselves.
It looks like since he wants to confirm, as of now this was submitted before the 8th, so it's been through a week or so. He says he's gotten up to 58 clicks and 4 leads over a week. So
well, that's not terrible. It's Jordan, right? Jordan, that's not terrible.
3 leads.
3 leads, okay. Well, look, why, Jordan, can I ask this? Have you tested driving to the landing page that I recommend, the distress sale foreclosure list landing page that I use, the one that's on my website, the one that you should have received? Have you tested that? No. Okay, so here's the thing. Jordan, you're paying me a lot of money, right? And you know I was pretty successful doing what I was doing. So instead of just using the landing page that we give you, you're using a different landing page. And that it might not be your idea. Maybe, who knows what the people at Success are telling you. But you know the results you're getting with their new distress sale version of this. I would recommend you now test driving those same ads to the landing page that I recommend. Jordan asked, do you recommend capturing addresses as well on your landing page? Well, let's have a look at what I'm asking for. The minimum price, the maximum price, the number of bedrooms, the desired area, and you see how we're actually asking them about what they're looking for, the number of bedrooms, the price range. Do you want distress sales? You can click off distress sales, foreclosures, unlisted homes. Now, if you fill all that in, what you'll find, there is a second page that comes up. It's a two-step landing page where we are going to try to gather more information, like their address. Now let's go back to the landing page that you're using. You're not asking the buyer prospect for any information for what they're looking for. So let's think about this. I'm a buyer, and I'm thinking, well, how could this landing page actually help me find out what I'm looking for? Is this a two-step form? I don't know. I might not fill in my information. I don't know. But I know on the other landing page, it sounds like I might get something more specific to what I'm actually looking for because they're asking me questions about what I'm actually looking for. So, look, I've never used that landing page, Jordan, so I would test using mine first. You see, this is the advice. Andrea, you've heard me give this advice for years to our students. People that get into real estate are entrepreneurial, no doubt about it. But I would just copy everything the way we've got it laid out. And after you copy it, okay, after you implement it and you perfect it, if you want to test other things, if you think you can make this better by doing it a different way, then go for it, test. But at least you would have a baseline to compare it against. You see, the problem, Jordan, is you can't tell me if this landing page that you're using is working better than the one that we recommend because you've never done it that way. Now, if your landing page works better than this, then obviously that would be the right thing to do. So I think you got to move back a step now, since you're, apparently not happy with the conversion. Drive back to this landing page and let's compare the two landing pages and see which one works better. And I'd be really interested in knowing the results, Jordan, if you can let me know which landing page had better conversion for you. Okay, so let's move on to, we better keep going here. We got a ton of ads. Let's move on to the next ad example, please.
Okay, this next ad example I'm going to make a little smaller so we can get it all on the screen. It's from our member, Michelle, and it's a flyer. She sent out 1,250 in the housing tracts with the greatest turnover in Laguna Niguel.
Sorry, I was reading, you caught me reading questions. Okay, so this is a postcard, sorry?
No, this is a flyer. It was a one-time distribution of 1,250 to housing tracts with the greatest turnover in Laguna Niguel.
All right, well, Michelle, I do like your thinking there. Okay, so Michelle thinks, makes sense that we want to send our marketing piece to the area or the streets that have the highest turnover. So that's the right way to think about this. So let's have a look at the piece here. Home prices in Laguna, how do you pronounce that?
I think Laguna Niguel.
Okay, we'll go with that. Laguna Niguel are on the rise. Find out what your home is worth online. Okay, so Michelle, here's what I would change the headline to instead? I would have it say, Laguna Niguel home sellers, because that's what we're trying to catch their attention. If we were in a crowd of people, if there were thousands of people, and I said, hey, you may not look. If I said, hey, Michelle, you might turn around and look. So I would be very specific. Or you could even change it to find out what your Laguna Niguel home is worth online. So I would either use Laguna Niguel home sellers as a headline with the subhead being find out what your home is worth online, or the headline would be find out what your Laguna Niguel home is worth online. Okay, the domain name has got L in it, so LN in it, so that makes sense. lmhomeworth.com.
And to confirm, she had 0 responses.
Okay, let's have a look at the landing page.
Hold on one moment.
Michelle, how many clicks did you have? How many visitors to ln whatever that was .com? 0. Okay, well, we can't blame the landing page. Michelle said she had 0 people visit the landing page. Okay, now I like how Michelle has Laguna Niguel in the headline. That's the right thing to do. Okay, Michelle, next question. How many of these flyers did you send out?
1,250.
Okay, and this is through the post office? Or delivered by a kid? How were they distributed?
Door knockers.
Okay, door knockers. Okay. So I wouldn't do that. I would mail them, and I would also have a message on the other side. Was there a message on the flip side of this? No. And here's something else I'd recommend, Michelle. I'm going to give this marketing piece the rating of close but no cigar. You see, I'm going to repeat this again. I'd like you guys just to copy what you're paying me for. If we go to look at let's look at my version of this postcard. It's close, but no cigar. It's almost like what I have, but it's not exactly what I have. My postcards were a different shape and size for a reason, because I proved it worked the best. The colors were chosen through testing because they work the best. The post office worked better than having a kid deliver them or using door hangers. I tested it. It worked the best. So that's one version. We give you a couple different versions. Let's look at another. Maybe they want the laptop. I mean, look, if you want to update this and throw an iPad on it or whatever, it doesn't make much of a difference, but if you feel better doing that. But there's my postcard. Okay, and let's have a look. Can we put them side by side?
Yes.
So what Michelle's done is she says, okay, well, this is pretty much like Craig's. We've got a desktop there, and Craig's got a laptop. Okay, so it's similar. The colors are a little bit different, but I guess it begs this question: why not just lay it out exactly like this one? Because I know it works. Why not use the same colors? If you want to put Laguna Niguel in the headline, that would be a good idea. I tried to make mine generic for our purposes here, but I would do that in the headline. And 1,200 postcards, not enough. You've got to send out at least 5,000 postcards to even evaluate this. But I'm glad you didn't send out 5,000 of this, because I'd rather you send out 5,000 that look like this. So, Michelle, if you send out 5,000 that look just like this, and we looked at your landing page, and it looks pretty good. And I always do recommend responding to your own marketing like you're a prospect, just to make sure technically everything's working well. If you did that, I think you'd have a different story to tell.
Okay.
Alex from Newmarket likes to attach a value to his. Well, Alex, again, that's something I didn't do. I know some of our members are doing that, but it might say free online home evaluation, $78 value or whatever, but this is free. I can't comment on that, Alex, good or bad. I never did that, but I know some of our members are. So Michelle, let's get this up and going. Let's use the mail. You can't test 1,200. Okay, that would be like if I ran an ad in the local paper and I said to the newspaper, okay, I know there's 50,000 people in town, but I only want my ad to show up in 1,200 newspapers. It just wouldn't be a big enough test. It'd be like the election's coming up, and let's do a poll to find out who's ahead in the election polls, and we're going to call 1,200 people. It's just not a big enough sampling. Okay, let's look at our next postcard here.
This is from Ernie.
I could tell it was from Ernie because we've got the exit colors there. Now the front side is actually number 7 and the back side is number 6. So let's have a look at what Ernie and Debbie have here. Your home sold at a price acceptable to you, guaranteed, or we buy it. And then what's the call to action there? It says to discuss the sale of your home, call Prime Time Realty. Okay, so we've got that backwards, Ernie. What we want to do, and preferably you want to have that right up in the teal. Okay, you should have that line that says, can you highlight this please, Andrea? To get a free report that details this exclusive offer, visit primetimeguaranteesale.com. Okay, so I would like that to go right below the line that says guaranteed or we'll buy it. So you've got a headline, and now you want a call to action. When you switch colors, it's almost like a stop sign to somebody's eyes. So you've got your headline in teal, and then you've got your call to action below in white. So I'm going to take that non-threatening offer, and I'm going to place that right under the headline. And I would probably do the same with the to sell your home, but that should be the next line. Give the prospect the non-threatening way to get the information first. Now, will the best prospects just pick up the phone and call you? Yeah, but most of them won't. There's a heck of a lot more prospects out there that are not ready to pick up the telephone and speak to a realtor yet, but would be willing to visit your website and get some more information and order this free report on how this thing works. I like the statistics. Can we make that bigger at all, Andrea?
Yes. And Ernie just wants to confirm these are just proofs. They haven't been printed yet.
Okay, cool. All right, that's good. And that's a good idea. Everyone hear what Ernie's saying is he sends his marketing pieces in first as proofs, then we mess around with them a bit, and then he prints them once they're critiqued and they're perfect. Okay, so we've got 4 big reasons to call Primetime Realty Team to sell your home. Primetime Realty Team versus the average agent. We sell more homes. Now, just to make that stand out a bit more, Ernie, I would have the we sell more homes in black. Just would make it stand out more. So number 1, we sell homes for more money. Number 2, we sell homes faster. Number 3, your home is more likely to sell. Number 4, our database of buyers in waiting. Maybe it's just me, but you could even add another color to it to make it really stand out. I know that costs more money though. let's have a look at ad number 6, which is the flip side of Ernie and Debbie's postcard.
And Craig, if you could comment on your thoughts of mixing the branded and less branded all together in one postcard.
Yeah, well, I've never done that. Well, I mean, I've done it and it didn't work, and that's why I either go look at you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. So if you're going to go branded on one side, you may as well go branded on the other side. I always generated the most number of leads with less branded offers, and you'll find that you will as well. Now, that's not to say there isn't an argument for branded advertising. I want everyone to consider this. If you agree with me that the less branded approach is the most effective and least expensive way for you to generate leads, then you might also ask, well, then why would I ever run branded advertising? Well, the argument for running branded advertising is if everyone in your community knew who you were and understood what makes you different and better, so they understood, hey, Ernie and Debbie, they're the realtors that they'll buy your home if it doesn't sell. It makes it easier to convert the less branded leads that contact you. Okay, so an advantage I had in my marketplace is when I was following up with prospects that responded to my less branded advertising. In other words, they didn't know they were calling an agent. They certainly didn't know they were calling Craig Proctor. When I called them back, I was pretty well received. Oh, Craig, okay, we know you. You're the guy that'll buy our home if it doesn't sell. Andrea's point is you probably just shouldn't mix them. It doesn't make sense. It's not that it won't work. It's just if you're going to go branded, why not go branded on both sides? The fact that you're branded on ad number 7 could mean that ad number 6 is not going to work as well.
Ernest is making a comment. He's saying Todd just told them to put testimonials on the back. He said not the way it is now.
Yep. Or how about this? You could have another USP. You could have your statistics on the back side instead of on the front side, and testimonials. You could talk about your unique services. Remember, there's 3 USP platforms. Let's look at Ernie's postcard on number 7. What do we teach you? There's 3 USP platforms. So, does Ernie and Debbie have a performance guarantee? Yes. Your home sold or we'll buy it. Is Ernie and Debbie using statistical USPs? Yes. They're comparing their statistics versus the real estate board average. What's the third USP? Unique services. So, what unique service could we offer here? Maybe we could have a unique service. Maybe we could have, the idea behind the testimonials is the number one mistake that all marketers make, not just real estate agents, is real estate agents make claims, but they don't back up their claims with any proof. So, if I'm in Tampa Bay and I get Ernie and Debbie's postcard here, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, what do you mean they'll buy my home if they can't sell it? I'm skeptical. So backing it up with testimonials is a really good idea. Okay, backing it up with these statistics is a really good idea too, because I'm looking at this and I might think, well, I guess this is how they're able to make this guarantee to buy the home if it doesn't sell, because Ernie and Debbie sell homes for more money. They sell their homes faster. Their homes are more likely to sell, and they've got this database of buyers. And then we back it up with a bunch of testimonials. So what we fight with all of our marketing is the number one trend in the country is what? Is skepticism. So that's why we try to overcome that with adding all of these elements to our marketing. Let's move on to example number 8, please.
Okay, this was just launched, so I'm assuming they have no information yet.
Well, we know there's a $5 a day budget. It says that down at the bottom in red, but just launched, so we have no results.
Correct.
Okay, it says get a torrents for closures hot list. I wonder if we could jazz that up a bit. What if it just said torrents, bank foreclosures, distress sales, and other great deals? I don't know. Just we've got some room there. Why don't we jazz that up a little bit?
Alex Malia says $5 is too little.
Okay, Alex, tell us what you're spending. What's your budget per day on an ad like this? All right, nothing from Alex yet.
12 to 20.
Okay, $12 to $20. So in Alex's opinion, Alex, I think what he's saying here is, again, too small a sample. Okay, this is like Michelle sending out 1,200 postcards and saying, well, that didn't work. So in this example, you know, we're spending $5 a day, and well, Alex just doesn't think that that's enough to make this thing really work.
So I'm going to assume this is Kevin Scott's, and he's typing in, I have had 17 clicks and 3 conversions already as of this AM. So I'm hoping he's talking about this because that sounds good. All
right, so Kevin, is this your ad we're looking at? I assume yes, okay. All right, well, Alex, I guess Alex's point is, he spends more on it than what you're spending. If you're getting good results at $5, well, what would happen if the budget was $15 a day? Gary Evans has typed in, I've been spending $75 over a Saturday and Sunday and averaged 25 to 30 foreclosure leads on Facebook. Terry is asking, what size of audience should we target on Facebook? Well, let me ask you guys that. Alex, what size of audience are you targeting on Facebook? And Kevin, what size of audience are you targeting? We'll wait for those answers to come in. Anyone else, of course, that wants to contribute on what you believe is the ideal size of the audience you should be targeting on Facebook. I think we're open to opinion on that. Before we go to our next marketing piece, Emil is asking, I have a new listing. Do you have any marketing pieces to send to neighboring homes, a postcard or a mailer? I would like to market to this neighborhood. It's a gated community with about 85 homes. By the way, the seller did not want to post a yard sign. Well, you could send out a just listed as long as it had a call to action. Do we have an example of any of my just listeds there? I don't think we do, Andrea.
No, I would have to do some searching to find one.
Okay, so here's what you could do. You could do a just listed with a picture of the house, and then you could offer the area home sales report, because who would be paying attention to a just listed or just sold card? Well, neighbors that are thinking of selling. So the obvious offer to make on your just listed or just sold postcards would be either the online home evaluation, or I think even better would be the area home sales report, where you're willing to send out a list of all the homes that have recently sold and all the homes that are currently listed in this gated community, which may be intriguing to the neighbors since they don't have sold signs in that gated community. Like, how would you know what was for sale in the neighborhood? Let's move to the next marketing piece, please.
Okay, just really quickly, this is another one of the Facebook ads that was just launched.
Okay, Gary Evans says, I target a 10-mile radius and adults between ages 30 and 64 years of age. Kevin Scott says, I target a select audience through Facebook with age and interests in the area. And Alex says, it varies on age category, but approximately 10 to 15,000 is his normal target. Okay, thanks guys.
And now these next few ads, I have no information on. If it was sent to me, I didn't receive it. I apologize. There's some sort of mobile marketing.
Well, it looks like Facebook, is it not? It's a screenshot of a mobile phone, but the ads are Facebook.
Oh, okay.
That's what threw you off. Usually we get a screenshot of a desktop. Okay, Emil says, Andrea, feel free to email me samples of the postcard. I'll try to dig them up. I know they're there somewhere in our mountain of coaching materials. And I can't even tell you where to find them, Andrea, but I know they're there somewhere. But that's basically what we did. Emil, is it would be a picture of it. It'd say, just listed, picture of the house, the address, and below would be the area home sales report. Maybe on the flip side of it, you've got the online home evaluation. Or you could say this. You could talk about your buyers in waiting. If you're thinking of selling, I don't know what the neighborhood is, your blah blah neighborhood home. I currently have 128 buyers that we're sending information out to that are currently looking for a home in your area. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call. We may already have a buyer for your house, something like that. So those are some ideas for just listeds. Okay, so let's look at our Monroe County home deals. Free list with pictures of Monroe County new construction home deals starting in the mid-170s. Okay, well, I don't know. Let's go to the landing page. Whose ad is this? Did it work? Do we have any?
I have no information. Let me pull up the landing page right now. Give me just 1 second.
One of the things you can test, as you know, is a map instead of a picture, that beautiful picture inside the house. You could test a map with pins on it.
Give me just 1 second. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the internet.
All right, take your time. While you're doing that, I'll see if there's any other questions here. Victor says, I target Newmarket, Aurora, King, Richmond Hill without radius separately. Example, power of sales and bank foreclosures, and it's bringing in 20 to 40 leads per week. Okay, well, Victor, some of these buyers you'll find will also have homes to sell. So not only will you get buyers, you'll get listings. Let me see if we've got some more questions here. Please continue to type in your questions and comments.
So Craig, I don't know the full URL.
Okay.
So I can't look
enough.
it up.
No problem. Let's move to the next one. We have lots to look at here.
A second from the same member, no information.
All right, keep going.
Okay, 12 and 13 are business cards.
Okay, well, you have frozen your screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There we go.
Thank you for bringing that to my
Okay,
attention.
all right, so what's the name of our members here? Keith? Says
Yes.
Anda's real estate license number and Keith's real estate. Okay, so here we go. Keith and Anda Powers. This is branded. It's sure beautiful, isn't it? The only thing we have to be careful of is we don't want the graphic artist to take control of the piece and make it, make it harder to read. I always get concerned. You see that background, that fancy background stuff we have, and we got this nice type here on the font.
I think that background stuff will not be there. It'll be clearer once it's a final proof. I think they put that so it couldn't be copied.
Okay, so
like
we're gonna yes, okay, I see that now. Okay, so we're gonna do a survey here. What do you folks think is easier to read? Let's look at ad number 12. The headline font, or okay, the headline font, you know, your home sold for 100% of market value guaranteed, or we'll pay you the difference, or www.powersguaranteesale.com. What do you think is easier to read? Which font? Again, on ad number 13 below, what's easier to read? The font in the headline or Keith and Anda Powers? What do you guys think? Let's have a look at the results. It appears that almost everybody seems to like the Arial font instead of the groovy font in the headline. Now that font sure is pretty, but if it's harder to read, do we want to use that font? No big deal. I mean, I can read the font, and you might accuse me of being a little bit nitpicky, but this is what the graphics people want to do, right? They want to make it fancy. In fact, if we really let the graphics people go to bat at this, they would make it look so pretty that nobody could read it. Right? That's what they want. They want to make it graphically so groovy, so pretty that it's difficult to read. But I'm just saying, you know, Powers Guaranteed Sale really stands out, and that looks great, and it's easy to read, and the phone number is easy to read, and discuss the sale of your home because it's in an Arial font. But the big benefit, the benefits in our headline, is in some groovy font. It just makes it a little harder to read. Now, I know Success Website does that, and you know, 99 out of 100 graphic artists would do it this way. But let's go back and look at my postcards. I didn't do it that way. Why? Because I used to do it that way, and then I did it this way, and this way worked better than that way. So you may look at my postcards and you say, well, those are pretty plain. Yep, they are. Some of you might even say they're kind of ugly, but they really work well. So to me, response trumps beauty. So I either used a Times font or an Arial font. Now, you know, today we've got all these different fonts that we can use. Are you able to pull up some of the fonts we can use? What can you pull up here? If you guys want to see some cool fonts, I mean, we'll find some cool fonts, but I just want to prove my point. You can't read them, but they're going to be really cool looking. So we have to, you know, think about this. Well, you know, it looks like, do we want beautiful looking pieces, or do we want to get the maximum response? And it's hard to argue this point because it's a beautiful piece. Looks fantastic. I'm just concerned, you know, and maybe it won't even be a factor here because really it's not that hard to read. But the headline, we all agree, is not as clear, not as easy to read as the other fonts on the postcard. Anyway, you don't have to go any further on this, Andrea. Let's go to ad number 14.
Okay, before we go on to ad number 14 and 15, I was confused about what our member was showing us. It's actually pictures of a landing page. So what I did was ask the member to actually send us the landing page because that would be easier to look at. So I'm going to do that right now. And it's Larry Barbata, and he has his telephone line open. So we're going to go to Larry. And Larry, you're live. Go ahead and let us know what you'd like us to do today.
Good morning.
Hey, Larry.
On 9/29, I opened up a Google pay-per-click ad with success, and at their recommendation, we focused on foreclosures and set a daily limit of $10 per day. So that buys you about 7 to 8 clicks per day, which is exactly what I was getting. And I was getting, during the first week, about a lead per day. The second week got a little quiet, So I got back on the phone with them, and on October 13th, this past Tuesday, we added that map that you see there. Okay. So since October 13th, we had 108 clicks up to that point, and we went to 120 in the last couple of days in total since 9/29. Got 2 leads in the past 3 days. So overall, I've gotten about 7.5% of the people that click on the ad, put something on the landing page. And I guess my question is that statistically a decent percentage that indicates that the ad is working?
Yes, it's in the range of acceptability.
What is that range?
The range is 5 to 15%.
Okay. Okay, so I just need to be patient and wait for the nugget to come through here, because I've gotten, I'm working with 4 people out of the 9 that have left something. A couple of the leads were throwaways because they wanted to rent something, and then a couple people left phone numbers.
This is the idea. We actually want the process that we have in place to sift out the undesirables. Some would look at this and say, well, only 5% of the people are actually, leaving their contact information. Well, that can't be good. That means 95% aren't. But really what we're doing is this system is automatically weeding out the undesirables, the people that aren't really motivated, the people that have an agent, the people that would just waste your time. So, who would jump through all these hoops and actually give up their information? Well, it should be the best ones, and those are the ones we're most interested in. In fact, Alex has just typed in here that he thinks that your conversion rate is a very good percentage. Alex, what is your average conversion percentage with Facebook?
Oh, this is Google.
Or Google, rather. We're waiting for him. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, you've answered my question. I just was not sure if this was an acceptable conversion rate, if I needed to tweak it some more or abandon it or whatever.
Can I tell you what's even more important than the conversion rate is return on investment. Let's say your conversion was 1%. But you were generating that 1% was making you way more money than your investment. The question is would you keep doing it? Of course you would. Alex has typed in here that 5 to 8%, according to my coach, is the ideal.
Okay.
So average is 5 to 8%. Yeah, you're in that wheelhouse.
Sure.
But ultimately, we want to focus on ROI. You see, there's all these numbers that especially with Facebook, by the way, there's lots of people that want to take your money, and they say they're Facebook experts. And here's what a Facebook expert would say to you. They would want to talk to you about likes and clicks and really even landing page leads. I mean, all those numbers are nice, but really what's the most important number is ROI. It cost me this, and here's what I got in return. Always let that trump every other number.
Agreed.
All right.
We're getting lots of chat comments about this. If you wanted to go through those real quick before you let go of Larry.
Michelle says, I have Google pay-per-click, the same distress sale, bank foreclosure ad, and have 0 clicks after 2 weeks. I'll tell you, Michelle, we got to get something working for you here, because the one common theme here is everything you've tried hasn't worked. So, you're consistently getting nowhere with this. So you need to jump on the phone with Mark, your coach, and we need to figure this out because there is a reason when things don't work. So we got to do a bit of an autopsy here. It's like when an airplane crashes, we don't say, oh, I knew it. I knew airplanes wouldn't fly. I mean, look at them. They're way too big. We know airplanes can fly. When an airplane crashes, what happens? The FAA goes in and they do an autopsy. Why did the plane crash? there's a couple reasons. Was it human error? Was it mechanical? Was it the weather? Was it terrorism? So we need your coach to look at what you're doing and do a bit of an autopsy, because I've received your emails here, you've tried this, you've tried that, and it is frustrating, I'm sure, for you to come on the ad clinic and see other members, doing quite well. So if you're like Michelle and you're struggling and you're not getting responses, I can promise you this: if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get more of the same. You need what we call an intervention. You need an intervention with your coach. You need to show your coach the materials, and we need to figure out what's going wrong and get you guys on the right track.
If I could just interject, this is something that makes me think of the session we discussed earlier, session 3, because you really do show proof that you indeed failed, Craig, a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Failing is part of succeeding. Okay, Michelle, I know you're with Keller Williams. We had your founder, Gary Keller. I was thinking of Dave Jenks. Gary Keller spoke at the super conference, not once, but several times. And I remember we went to a Q&A session on one of those super conferences where Gary Keller was on stage, and our members were asking him some really good questions. One of the questions was, how do you know you need a coach? And Gary Keller says, well, if you're trying as hard as you're trying, you're giving it your all, but you're just not getting the results that you want, well, then you know it's time for a coach. Another question that was asked to Gary was, Gary, like Gary said, I have a coach. And people were like amazed. Well, Gary Keller has a coach. Gary says, yeah, I pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to my coach every year, and I copy people. I copy and copy and copy, and I try all kinds of things. And he said, I failed my way to success. I failed and I failed and I failed and I failed, and that's how I learned, and that's how I became Gary Keller. That's how I started Keller Williams. I tried a whole bunch of things that didn't work. And I thought that was pretty interesting, right? So obviously successful guy, but he admits, I failed my way here. And that's how we become successful, is we fail our way. So Andrea's point is on coaching session 3, Michelle, that you're going to be partaking in this week coming up, you're going to see me failing my way to success. You're going to see me running a lot of ads where I share with you everything. Here's the ad I ran, here's what it cost, here's where I ran the ad, and yep, that one didn't work. So back to the drawing board. You fall down, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you go at it again. And that was really the secret to my success as well. And it'll be the secret to your success. So don't get discouraged. Hang in there. And, you're right. I've done some of the legwork here. Should you still fall? Yep, you're still going to fall. Michelle, her point is, well, haven't you done all the falling down for us? I wish that was the case. As I said a few minutes ago, what would be really great is if I could say, you know what, for you in your marketplace, this is exactly what you should do. It's not that easy. Have I shortened the road to success for you? Yeah, I believe I have. But you're still going to have to do some testing to figure out, I've taken it this far. Now, you've got these ads that work for agents all over the country. We got to find the ones that work best for you. If it's not working at all, it tells me there's something not quite right. Okay, so the postcards that you sent out weren't really postcards. They were door hangers. That's one problem. They didn't look exactly like mine. Maybe, there's other things that are going on. But when we dig in deeper and we do the autopsy, we always find out, well, there's something we can look at, something we can test. When you get it going, you always keep testing. Even when you start to get good results, you're going to keep testing. That's the game, right? Is we're going to keep testing new ideas versus the baseline, right? And we're going to always try to beat what we're doing now. If we can't beat what we're doing, we keep doing what we're doing. Now I've forgotten where I am, Andrea. Where are we?
Well, what we need to do is probably come to a close. Remind everybody we have our internet helpline session on Monday. So those of you that may be working with success or have questions for Christy or Steve, that's a perfect time to join because that's all we'll be discussing is online marketing. And that's Monday the 19th.
Yeah, so have all your internet-related online lead generation questions ready. So there are questions, here are some good questions. Any questions about the less branded site, the branded site, their HDX site? Any questions about Facebook, Google pay-per-click, Craigslist? Any questions about the back end of success, their contact management system? These are all great questions. Over the weekend, maybe you can make a list of any questions that you can think of in regards to the success website or online marketing in general. Now, we've got a full week of calls coming up next week. You can see your schedule on the coaching site, just like Andrea has in front of you right now. But here's my advice. My advice to you is, if you're not having the success that you think you should be having, you want to reach out to your coach. Okay, I'm glad so many of you are being successful, but I want you all to be successful. Because if you're not successful, what happens is skepticism starts to creep in. Well, I don't know, will this thing work for me? You know, maybe my marketplace is different, maybe this won't work. Look, this works for everyone, everywhere. Okay, we've had over 30,000 students go through this program from all over the country in many different countries. So reach out to your coach. Okay, make sure you attend all the sessions. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get this thing going, but once it kicks in, you'll never look back. So I'll leave you with that thought. I want everyone to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to everybody Monday on our helpline session. Take care, and that concludes today's Ad Clinic webinar.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.